So the question says that we have been given an array and a target sum, and we have to find out all the permutations from the numbers given within the array which are positive integers and non-duplicates which add up to that particular sum. Okay, let's see how we can solve this problem. Now the number that we have been given is this particular array, which is 1, 2 and 3, and the target sum is of course 4. Okay, so what are the possible permutations to get the target sum? So we can take 4 ones, okay, which will sum up to 4, or we can take 1 1 1 1 and 1 2, or we can take 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 2 3 1 or 1 3. Since these are permutations, so the moment you change the order, so that will be a different permutation. So we want all the permutations in that case. So total number of permutations in this case is 7. Okay, these 7 permutations are possible for the given target 4 using the given array. So how do we solve this problem? We can draw the state space tree and try to figure out all the permutations using the same. Okay, so the target is 4 and the numbers that we have been given is 1, 2 or 3. These are the 3 numbers that we have been given. So if we use 1, the first number, then the required sum would be 3. We are trying to break this bigger problem into smaller subproblem. Okay, then again we have the option to choose from 1, 2 or 3. What is this 1, 2, 3? This 1, 2, 3 is nothing but the digits from this array. Okay, we would be left with the sum 2. Then again okay, so as you can see, we are going depth first. Okay, we are going depth first and exploring all the options to the left of the tree first, and then eventually we will go to the right side. Okay, now okay, then for 1 we have 3 options, 1, 2 and 3. So if we choose 1, then we would be left with 0. If we choose 2, we would be left with -1. Here we will be left with -2. Okay, so what will happen over here is the moment we reach this sum 0, that means we started our journey with 4 and then we reached to sum 0. So that is one of the possible ways, right? So what is the path? If we trace it back, it will be 1 1 1 1. So if we add this path, then we'll get the target sum. Or where else we are getting 0? We are getting 0 over here. So what is that path? 1 1 2. Okay, so 1 1 2 is also a possible path. But what will happen if we get some negative number in this case? Is it worthy to go any further? Is it worthy to go depth first in that? No, we should not be going depth first in these scenarios. Okay, the moment we reach to a negative target sum, that is not the part of our solution. We have to discard it. Okay, again for we can continue drawing the tree further. So in this case, again if we choose 2, then we'll be left with 1 as the amount, and 3 options we are having, 1 2 and 3. And then again for 3 we'll be getting 0. Then again if we choose 2, then again we have 3 options. We can keep on continuing the same procedure. We can keep on repeating the same procedure. Okay, now till when should we continue the procedure? Until we reach to the end of the digits given in the array. Okay, so this is the last digit from the array that we have been given. So we have to continue this procedure until this point. Okay, so what are the conclusions from this tree? The first conclusion is, if target equal to 0, so the moment target becomes equal to 0, then we have found a possible solution. Okay, so we can return 1. because this is one of the possible solutions that we are having. This is one of the possible paths that we are having. So this is one path, this is second path. Similarly, if we continue drawing the tree, then we will get all the 7 paths. Okay. If, however, target is less than 0, then what do we return? The moment it becomes negative, then we don't want to go any further from there on, because that cannot be the part of our solution. So we have to discard it. So we will return 0 in that case. That will never be the part of our sum. Okay, so we are returning 0, which has no impact on our solution. So how do we write the program for this recursive approach? The program is pretty simple. So as we discussed, if target is 0, then we have to return 1. Now this is the final result. What is the final result? What is the result variable over here? Result variable will have the sum for all the paths. This is one of the paths, then this is the second path. Similarly, we'll be having all the 7 paths in this particular variable. Okay, now what are we doing over here? See, this is our problem. Okay, this is our target. Now for this target, we are trying all the possible digits in the array. Okay, we are trying this with all the 3 digits which are currently in the array. Then again, the moment we have broken that bigger problem into smaller sub problem, then again we are doing the same thing over here. Okay, then again for 2, again we are doing the same thing. So the target is 2, and then we are trying it with all the numbers within the array. Okay, so let's take this sub problem. So what are we doing over here? In this sub problem, it will extend all the way till down. Okay, so what will happen over here is, this is our target sum. Okay, these are our smaller sub problems. Now these are the digits from within the array. Okay, so for integer I is equal to 0, I less than, we will try all the digits within the array. So nums dot length I plus plus. Okay, now what is happening over here? We are trying to subtract the first digit from the array. That is what we have chosen 1 from this array, and then we are trying to subtract it from the target sum. Okay, so the target sum is over here. So we can write result equal to whatever result we have gotten till now. Suppose we have gotten the result to the smaller sub problems. Okay, once we have gotten the result to the smaller sub problems, which is already stored in this result while computing it, so it should be result plus whatever value we are already having in the result, plus again we are calling that particular sub problem. So it will again call this get subset sum. Now in the number array we will pass the same thing, so it will be nums. But what do we pass in the target? Now the target will decrement with that particular amount. Okay, target will decrement with that particular I from within the array. So it will become target minus nums I. Okay, and finally we will return the result. Fine, this is our recursive approach solution. Okay, why are we adding result over here? Because for the first iteration, if we are trying it with target 5, okay, with target 5 if we are trying it, then it will try for target 4. Okay, if we are trying for target 4, then it will try for target 3, because we are decrementing that particular I from the target. Then it will try for target 2, then it will try for target 1, then it will try for target 0. For target 0 we however know the solution, that is 1. Then it will try for target 1. Now the result for 0 is already there in this particular variable, result variable, so we are adding it to this particular subproblem. So we have to consider that negative case also. So if it becomes negative, then we don't have to go further into that. Okay, so we don't have to consider that subproblem. If it turns out negative, we don't have to consider for that subproblem. So what we can write is, if target is greater than or equal to nums I, then only we will perform this particular operation. So in this way we can avoid the negative cases. But we can find so many redundancies over here, like the target amount which is 1, which is left over here, is tried with again starting from 1 till the end of the array. Then we are trying 1 over here again with the starting of the array till the end of the array. Okay, then similarly for 2 it is redundant over here, then again for 3 you will find it over here. So it is getting repeated. We don't want to again recompute those values. So what we can do, we can create a DP array to store the previous solutions that we have gotten. Okay, so what we can do is, we can create a DP array. Okay, now this is the DP array that we have created. Now in this DP array, it stores the target value that we are having. So the target sum is either 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4. So these are the various subproblems that we are having. So in order to get 0, if we have to get this target 0, then what are the possible ways to get it? We can choose either 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, or we cannot choose, or we should not choose any of these elements, then it will become 0. So there is basically only one possible way of making dp0, that is, so the solution would be dp0 would be 1, and the solution is not to choose from any of these elements that we have been given. Now in order to calculate dp1, so what is dp1 over here? So see, so this is dp1 that we have to calculate. Now dp1 depends on again dp0 and some negative numbers which we don't care about. Okay, so dp1 basically depends on dp0 plus some negative number, we don't care about it. Okay, now for dp2, now dp2 depends, in order to calculate this dp2, this now depends on dp1, dp0 and the negative numbers that we don't care about. So dp1 plus dp0 plus some negative numbers which we don't care about. For dp3 similarly we have dp2, dp1 and dp0. So dp3 is the sum of dp2, dp1 and dp0. So there is a formula which can be derived from this particular pattern. So dpi, okay, dpi, I is the amount, depends on dp, the first number which we have been given in the nums array. Okay, suppose we call it j. Okay, so dpi basically depends on dp of I minus j, where this j starts from 0 till the end of the given array, nums dot length. Okay, this j will start from 0 till the nums array. Okay, so we have to consider all the three elements that we have been given. So in order to write the program for this dynamic programming, we know dp0 is equal to 1 because we cannot choose any of, we should not choose any of the elements which have been given from the array, and then we can make up to 0. target. Okay, so this will basically be 1. First we have to initialize the DP array with all 0 values. Okay, now in order to calculate DP1, okay, so DP1 we have to calculate. It depends on all the 3 numbers from within the array. We have to subtract it and then we have to try it. Okay, so we'll have to write 2 loops in that case. So for integer I equal to 1, I less than target I plus plus. Okay, so see, the length of the target is the length of the DP array is target plus 1, because in this scenario we are starting from 0. Okay, we have to get the sum as 4, but since we are starting since the array starts from index 0, so that is why the length of the DP array should be target plus 1. Okay, now this is the amount, this is the target that we have to get, this is the target that we have to get. Now this j is nothing but it indicates this particular this j indicates the given values in the array. Okay, so it will start and then end at the end of the nums array. Okay, so with each target amount for target as 1, we have to try with all the three digits which have been given. Then again for target 2 we'll try with all the 3 digits. Then again with target 3 we'll try with all the 3 given digits. And now we already know the value for DP1 or DP0 or the subsequent values. We know the solution for all the previous values, so we'll be storing that in the DP array and then using this DP array to find out the solutions for the subsequent subproblems. Now in order to discard the negative scenarios, what we have to write over here is if amount minus nums j is greater than equal to 0, if this particular equation is positive, then only we'll proceed further. Then dpi, what is dpi? Dpi is nothing but we want to get the target value permutations for that ith target. Currently we are trying for 1. Okay, so that would be dpi plus, that would be dpi plus dpi minus nums j. Okay, so why dpi minus nums j? See, this is the target amount, that is 1. Okay, now this target has to be tried with all the 3 given values, that is 1, 2 and 3. Again, if this target becomes 2, then again we have to try it with 1, 2 and 3, then for 3, then for 4. That is how it will happen. Okay, now why are we adding dpi to this? See, what we will do here is first we will try this amount with 1. Okay, we'll try this amount with 1. Okay, we'll try 2 with 1 and then see if it leads to path 0. Okay, if it leads to path 0 over here, then we will try with amount 2. Okay, if this also leads to path which gives us the sum 0, then these are the 2 paths that we have to add, right? Because this path is also giving us the solution, this path is also giving us the solution. If this path also gives us the solution, then we will have to add that too. So that is why we are adding dpi to this. So first we will calculate dpi, that is amount 1, with the first amount, so that will become dp0. Then after having calculated dp0, what will happen? We will store it over here. Okay, so this will become 1. Okay, this will become 1. So we have now tried it with 1. Okay, Then if suppose we try it with 2 and it gives us solution 2, then we will add it over here, then it will become 3. Then again we will try it with 3. If it gives 3 more, then it will become 6. So total 6 paths are there to calculate this sum using the 3 different numbers that we have been given. So that is how it works. That is why we are adding dpi to this. Okay, but actually it is 1. And then finally we will return the last element of the array, which will be having the solution for the target amount. So return dp of target. To find out the solution, first we tried to write the recursive solution, and then we tried to optimize it using the dynamic programming. But in order to get to the dynamic programming solution, we basically found out the overlapping subproblem. So the overlapping subproblem was that dp of 2 was getting calculated many times, dp of 1 was getting calculated many times. So we just created a dp array and then stored all the values over here, and then used the previous values in the array to compute the next values based on the pattern that we figured out.